Welcome to NIO Day.
Want to know the price prediction of the automobile maker NIO? Well then, let's forecast the growth of NIO stocks and see how much investment worthy it can be in the upcoming times. If you want to find the NIO price assumption, make sure to watch this video until the end. Hello future billionaires, welcome to Stock Investing 101, a channel where you get stock inspiration, motivation and knowledge to become the next future billionaire. The NIO stock forecast has been quickly upgraded after shares in the Chinese electric vehicle maker experienced a dramatic surge. If you're unfamiliar with NIO share news, this video will help illustrate the stock's dazzling bull run on the New York Stock Exchange so far. NIO had started the last year around $3.72 and was trading at this level until the start of June. However, the NIO share price forecast then took an intriguing turn. By the start of July, the stock had doubled to $8. By the beginning of October, it had reached $20. Few NIO stock predictions could have anticipated what was around the corner in November, however. A dramatic climb began on October 26th, and in the space of 4 weeks, the share price leapt by 120%, hitting a 52-week high of $57.20. Even though the stock has cooled in recent weeks, NIO is still up 1,056% year to date. As you'd expect, there is now renewed interest in the NIO stock forecast, and what's driven this stock to a remarkable market cap of $58.6 billion in the blink of an eye. After closing at $58.34, an increase of 1.09%, pre-market trading is pointing to another increase of 0.55%, which would send shares to the highest since January 14th. It would not take much more for NIO to surpass the peak closing price of 2021, which stands at $62.70. The chart shows that clearing a low hurdle may open the door to the monthly highs. The Shanghai-based electric vehicle maker has announced that customers may grab one of 3 different models without making a down payment. The limited time proposition runs through February 28th, which is ample time to make a substantial amount of sales. This recent move is not the first by NIO. It's repeating a similar feat it initially performed back in September 2019. Back then, the trigger was an attempt to raise sales, while the 2021 zero down payment approach could be an attempt to compete with Tesla in China. Investors were happy to see large growth percentages in the company's earning reports, even at the cost of slower cash flow. At this juncture, markets seem to support NIO's move to expand its reach. It's essential to remember that every car sale implies servicing costs, including those for batteries. NIO Stock Forecast 2021, fully charged. One upbeat factor for the NIO stock price forecast lies in how it's primed to dominate its native market in China, in a way that the likes of Tesla and Nikola may struggle to match. On December 1st, NIO released figures that show how its production processes are becoming far more sophisticated. The 5,291 vehicles delivered in November marked a 109.3% increase on the same period last year. And across the whole of 2020 year to date, the number of vehicles delivered is up 111.1%. An impressive feat considering the manufacturing challenges brought about by the coronavirus pandemic. Further enhancements to boost capacity are being made this month, and this could result in additional profitability further down the line. The NIO Incorporated stock price gained 6.19% on Friday, the 22nd of January 2021, rising from $58.34 to $61.95, and has now gained 3 days in a row. It will be exciting to see whether it manages to continue gaining or take a minor break for the next few days. During the day, the stock fluctuated 6.60% from a day low at $58.32 to a day high of $62.17. The price has risen in 6 of the last 10 days and is up by 14.13% over the past 2 weeks. Volume has increased on the last day along with the price, which is a positive technical sign, and in total, 62 million more shares were traded than the day before. In total, 133 million shares were bought and sold for approximately $8.22 billion. The stock lies in the middle of a very wide and strong rising trend in the short term, and a further rise within the trend is signalled. Given the current short-term trend, the stock is expected to rise 57.75% during the next 3 months, and with a 90% probability, hold a price between $78.44 and $103.90 at the end of this 3-month period. The NIO Incorporated stock holds buy signals from both short and long-term moving averages, giving a positive forecast for the stock. Also, there is a general buy signal from the relation between the two signals where the short-term average is above the long-term average. On corrections down, there will be some support from the lines at $59.39 and $50.53. A breakdown below any of these levels will issue sell signals. Furthermore, there is a buy signal from the 3 months moving average convergence divergence, or MACD. Volume is rising along with the price, price, this is considered to be a good technical sign. Some negative signals were issued as well, and these may have some influence on the near short-term development. A sell signal was issued from a pivot top point on Monday, January 11th, 2021, and so far it has fallen negative 1.20%. Further fall is indicated until a new bottom pivot has been found. On the downside, the stock finds supports just below today's level from accumulated volume at $48.30 and $47.98. There is natural risk involved when a stock is testing a support level, since if this is broken, the stock then may fall to the next support level. In this case, NIO Incorporated finds support just below today's level at $48.30. If this is broken, then the next support from accumulated volume will be at $47.98 and $46.59. This stock may move a lot during the day, and with a large prediction interval from the Bollinger Band, this stock is considered to be high risk. During the last day, the stock moved $3.85 between high and low, or 6.60%. For the last week, the stock has had a daily average volatility of 6.23%. The final forecast report. Let's try to put some dollar numbers on these forecasts. I'll try to make this fairly simple so that we can estimate what NIO stock is worth. Now, we know two things from the Q3 earnings report. First, NIO delivered 12,206 electric vehicles. Second, they had a total quarterly revenue of $666.6 million since NIO provided the conversion into dollars. Therefore, we can calculate the average selling price, or ASP, of the Q3 EVs. If we divide 666.6 by 12,206 vehicles, the ASP is $54,613. Using this information and assuming that ASPs increase by 1% per quarter, I estimate that the company will produce 15,902 EVs in Q4 and 42,277 EVs in 2021, with total revenue of $2.2 billion. In addition, my forecast for 2021 shows that revenue is set to explode. I increased slightly the monthly average delivery growth to 10% per month. This works out to a 33% growth quarter over quarter. In addition, I set the ASP increase at 0.5% quarterly. However, by the end of 2021, NIO is forecast to produce about 26% of cars that Tesla will produce this year. Its revenue could be $7.3 billion, or 24% of Tesla's estimated revenue of $30.7 billion. In addition, this implies NIO stock will rise to $100.54 over the next year, i.e. $2,395 times its price of December 11th of $41.98 per share. So hang on to your hat. If NIO continues in this growth trajectory, we can expect NIO stock could rise 140% over the next year. If you'd like to stay up to date with the best and latest content about stocks and entrepreneurship, then make sure to subscribe to our channel and leave a like on this video. Did you find this video valuable, or do you want to add anything? Make sure to let us know in the comment section down below. We are posting a new video every day with the most undervalued stocks in the market right now. Toodles, until next time.